While the world's sports car giants clung to safe, familiar engines, Mazda gambled everything on a tiny spinning triangle. In doing so, they created the RX-7, a machine that rewrote the rules of handling, sound, and soul itself. But why did one risky bet on the impossible make this car an enduring icon? And how did it shape every millimeter of its design? The real story begins under the hood. Kenichi Yamamoto sat in Mazda's boardroom, holding a blueprint for an engine that looked nothing like anything in Detroit or Stuttgart. Instead of pistons hammering up and down, the Wankel Rotary used a single triangle-shaped rotor spinning inside an oval chamber. Each face of that triangle swept through intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust in one smooth, continuous motion. Where a typical piston engine juggled dozens of parts, pistons, rods, valves, cams, the Rotary needed just three major moving pieces: the rotor, its shaft, and the gears that kept them in sync. That simplicity gave it a secret weapon: almost no vibration, barely any reciprocating mass, and the ability to spin to dizzying revolutions per minute without the mechanical chaos of a piston stop-and-go violence. But this was not just a clever gadget. For Mazda, it was an all-or-nothing gamble. The company was small, vulnerable, and facing pressure from every side: rival automakers, government regulators, and its own nervous shareholders. Yamamoto and his hand-picked Rotary 47 team pushed forward anyway, convinced that the Rotary's compact size and smoothness could offer something no other sports car could. They were not just designing an engine, they were betting Mazda's future on a piece of engineering so radical that every other car company had already walked away. The stakes could not have been higher, but for Yamamoto, the Rotary engine was Mazda's chance to stand apart from the crowd, and maybe, just maybe, to survive. Mazda's tiny Rotary engine didn't just save space under the hood, it changed everything about how the RX-7 handled. With the 13B roue sitting entirely behind the front axle, engineers achieved a front midship layout. That single decision pushed the car's weight distribution to a near-perfect 50-50 split, a balance most rivals could only dream about. The engine's low profile let it sit deep in the chassis, dropping the center of gravity. The result was agility you could feel in every corner, quick changes of direction, minimal body roll, and steering that seemed to read your mind. At just about 2,800 pounds, the FD was lighter than almost anything else in its class, and it felt it. But Mazda didn't stop with just clever packaging. To give the Rotary some extra muscle, they paired it with a sequential twin-turbo system. The first turbo came alive at 1,800 RPM, delivering sharp throttle response right off the line. Then, around 4,500 RPM, a second larger turbo took over, unleashing a strong surge all the way to redline. This setup squeezed 255 horsepower from just 1.3 liters, but more importantly, it delivered power in a smooth, uninterrupted wave. Every piece of the RX-7's design worked together: engine, chassis, and turbos, to create a driving experience that was sharp, responsive, and unlike anything else on the road. The RX-7 did not just talk a big game, it proved itself where it mattered most, on the world's toughest racetracks. In 1979, a first-generation RX-7 stunned the field at the 24 Hours of Daytona, taking the GTU class win and finishing in the top 5 overall, a jaw-dropping result for a newcomer. That was just the beginning. Throughout the 1980s, the RX-7 became a fixture at the front of the IMSA GTU grid, racking up 7 consecutive championships from 1980 to 1986, more than any other car in the series' history. Team after team chose the RX-7 for its blend of speed and bulletproof reliability, making it the car to beat in North American endurance racing. Across the Atlantic, Tom Walkinshaw Racing took the RX-7 to Belgium's Spa 24 Hours in 1981 and beat Europe's best to claim overall victory. The car's resilience under pressure, especially during a tense overnight pit repair, became legendary. Even in rally, the RX-7 showed its grit. Against all-wheel drive monsters in Group B, it clawed its way to podium finishes at the Acropolis Rally and Rally New Zealand in 1985. These wins were not flukes. They were proof that Mazda's Rotary gamble could go the distance, no matter the challenge. The RX-7's legend isn't just built in garages and racetracks, it is fueled by pop culture and the tight-knit community that forms around it. In the world of anime, the FD RX-7 became a star in Initial D, where its sleek lines and rotary scream, made it the high-tech rival every street racer feared. Years later, Hollywood took the myth global. The Fast and Furious franchise did not just put the RX-7 on screen, it turned Han's Veilside-kitted FD into a symbol recognized by car fans everywhere. That Wild Fortune body kit crafted by Hironao Yokomaku's team at Veilside became a must-have for tuners chasing the movie dream. But behind the posters and movie scenes, real ownership means real commitment. The Rotary engine demands respect. Owners talk about the Apex Seal checklist, warm up gently, top off oil religiously, and keep an eye on turbo hoses, especially in early FD cars where heat could cause problems. Neglect any step and you risk a full engine rebuild. One longtime mechanic says, "You do not just own an RX-7, you sign up for a partnership. Treat it right and it will give you a sound and a feeling no other car can." When emissions laws finally forced the RX-7 out of showrooms, it only deepened the sense of stewardship. Today, every well-kept FD is both a survivor and a cultural artifact. The myth lives on, but so does the responsibility. Because with the RX-7, legend and reality are always inseparable. Even as emissions laws silence Rotary engines, demand for RX-7s keeps rising. In an era of algorithms and automation, the world still craves machines built with soul, and the RX-7 proves it.